In 2026, how much do you need to make to rent a house in the United States? Experts say it's around $70,000. There was a time when earning $70,000 a year meant that you were doing pretty well. Today, it means you may qualify for a modest two-bedroom apartment with luxury features like painted walls, plumbing, and a dishwasher that sounds concerning. But according to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, the average American now needs $70,000 a year to afford a two-bedroom rental house without spending more than 30% of their income on housing and utilities. In some states, you could still pull that off, making around $40,000. In others, you need six figures just to convince your landlord that you're financially house-trained. In this video, we're looking at 10 states where renters need the highest salaries to afford a basic two-bedroom home without financing groceries or treating healthcare as an optional subscription. Let's take a look. Number 10, Colorado, the Centennial State. Yes, everyone loves Colorado. Colorado cracks the top 10 with a required salary of about $76,500. That's about $36.79 an hour. The state spent years attracting people with mountains, outdoor recreation, job opportunities, and photographs of impossibly cheerful people standing beside expensive bicycles. Whole REI catalog on their body. Unfortunately, all those new residents needed someplace to live. Housing costs surged in Denver, Boulder, Fort Collins, Colorado Springs, and many of the state's desirable mountain communities. Aspen is insanely expensive. Even towns out in the sticks, like in the Rockies, far away from Denver, have experienced price increases as remote workers and outdoor enthusiasts arrive carrying laptops and pre-approval letters. Colorado remains an amazing place to live, provided your income can keep up with the altitude. And that's the rough part. Colorado has gotten terribly expensive, and the locals hate it. There's a couple states that are about tired of people moving there. Idaho, Texas, Nevada. Mostly in Nevada, it's the Las Vegas area. But Colorado's one of the original ones that is just done with people moving there. Number 9, Florida. Now this one's going to blow you away. People besides retirees move to Florida. It's not just people that are so old they could be Clint Eastwood's body double in a risque movie. Young people move there too. Florida requires about $77,500 a year or $37.27 an hour to live comfortably and rent a two-bedroom place. That is a sharp departure from the Florida many retirees remember, when you could sell your modest home in the Northeast and move to the South and still have enough left over for a golf cart and 17 decorative flamingos for your lawn. Today, housing costs have risen in many Florida markets, while insurance, utilities, and many other expenses continue taking enthusiastic bites out of the household budget. Even people who bought affordable homes can discover that owning a house is only the opening act. There's a whole 3-act structure here, and a lot of those acts are dramatic and may make you want to cry. Florida still has no income tax, which continues attracting residents. The state basically lets you keep all your money so you can afford your insurance premiums. It's still one of the best places to move to if you're a retiree, but that's kind of, the shine's coming off that golden dome there. That a lot of people are heading to Arizona again. They're heading to South Carolina, even North Carolina for retirement. Georgia is starting to be a hot spot. And I'm not saying Florida's not one of the most moved to places. It's just losing that mass appeal. A lot of people are done with it, including the locals. Number 8, Maryland. You never hear about Maryland anymore unless it's something negative. I was just talking to someone on a live stream about how beautiful the state actually is. It is, once you get out of Baltimore. But considering Baltimore is where 90% of the people live and takes up a good portion of land, it's not a big state. Baltimore's a big city. It kind of puts a really nasty vibe on the state. But that being said, it's still expensive to rent a two-bedroom house there. Maryland residents need about $81,400 annually or $39.15 an hour to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. Much of the cost is driven by communities connected to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, their employment markets, which are usually high-paying, which raises all the prices. Yes, even though Baltimore is a bit of a nightmare, it still charges you a buttload to live there. Luckily, the state has plenty of high-paying government, healthcare, technology, and professional jobs. Maryland also has housing prices apparently designed around the assumption that everyone is either a surgeon, a federal contractor, or secretly selling submarines. The costs vary significantly across the state, with Western Maryland and parts of the Eastern Shore generally offering better values. But near DC, a comfortable salary can quickly become a survival salary after housing, commuting, childcare, and taxes take turns passing your paycheck around. Number 7, New Jersey. In New Jersey, you need about $83,200 a year, or almost $40 an hour, to live comfortably. The state offers access to New York City, Philadelphia, beaches, good schools, and a long list of expenses eager to introduce themselves. Housing costs are high in many of the communities, and property taxes have a reputation that extend far beyond the state line. New Jersey homeowners don't just ask whether their tax bill is going to be painful. They just ask whether they should be sitting down when they open the letter, because you may fall over once you read it, or at least you'll use the F word when you see the number. The state does have some strong employment opportunities and some genuinely attractive towns. You simply need to bring a good salary, a tolerance for toll roads, and the emotional strength required to watch a large portion of your income vanish into the local government. Which, if you don't know, New Jersey is one of the most taxed states. It's always in the top 5. I think right now they're 2, but they are brutal on taxes. They've never seen a tax they don't like. I mean, they're willing to throw it at their people no matter what. And New Jersey is a good state in a lot of areas, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. I just don't get why that state's so frickin' expensive, or why they tax people like they're in some hidden gem that, is totally worth the money. It's not worth the money. It's a nice state, but Jesus. Number 6, Washington State. Washington requires an annual salary of about $85,500, which equals to about $41.11 an hour. The state's technology economy has created plenty of wealth, especially around Seattle and the Puget Sound region. The downside is that the housing market eventually noticed all these people in technology just walk around with tons of cash. So home prices and rents climbed, and suddenly ordinary residents were competing with people whose signing bonus to go into a company and take a job probably could pay for the house outright. Washington has no state income tax, which is great, but housing, sales tax, transportation, food, and other expenses have developed an efficient system of finding the money anyway. Your paycheck may arrive tax-free at the state level, but it rarely gets a chance to settle in. Yeah, Washington is a great state. It has a lot going for it, but the cost of living there is ridiculous. And that's what happens when a great industry like the tech industry moves into a city or a small community. And this is how it works. You wanted that technology company to be there so you could say, this is where Amazon started. Well, technology pays a lot of money. So they get people living there that make a ton of money, and landlords and developers, they know this. They know these people could afford those prices. If they couldn't afford a house for $750,000, they would lower that house to $500,000. Housing is always going to reflect what people can afford. If a house stays on the market for 3 years trying to be sold at $1 million, it's not going to stay at $1 million. They're going to keep lowering it until someone finally bites. Then they just figure that's about where the prices should be set. Number 5, the District of Columbia. Now, Washington, D.C. is not technically a state, but it appears in the data and lands at number 5. Living comfortably in the nation's capital requires that you have an yearly income of $92,600, or $44.50 an hour. It's crazy. Housing is a major obstacle, especially in desirable neighborhoods or anywhere with a reasonable commute. You may earn a professional salary and still find yourself in an apartment where the refrigerator door can't open unless the front door is closed. I lived in an apartment like that before. It was so small, if I was sitting at my little dining table there, I could finish my food and lean like this and put my dishes in the sink. And me and my wife couldn't be in the kitchen at the same time. And this is back when we both weighed under 150 pounds. But DC offers excellent museums, restaurants, career opportunities, and access to national institutions. Many of the museums are free, which is thoughtful because after paying rent, free may be the only entertainment category that's still available to you. Yeah, not a lot of people know that. A lot of the things in DC, the different monuments, and that's all free. The museums, a lot of them are free. You just walk in. That's it. It's amazing. Number 4, Massachusetts. Massachusetts residents need about $95,500 annually or $45.90 an hour to live comfortably. In the state. Boston and its surrounding communities are responsible for much of this financial carnage. The region offers outstanding universities, major hospitals, technology companies, financial firms, and a highly educated workforce. It also offers apartments that are priced as though every tenant recently invented a medical device at Harvard. Housing costs can remain high as well outside of Boston, especially in communities with desirable schools or commute access. Massachusetts is packed with history, but residents rarely need to visit a museum to learn about suffering. They can simply review their monthly rent on the 2-bedroom apartment, and they start suffering right then and there. We were just talking about this again in a live stream the other day, that's one of the cities I wish I'd lived in when I was younger, 20s, 30s, or something like that. Always wanted to live in a major city, but started having kids and it never became a thing. I'm a suburban dweller, now I'm more of a rural area. But yeah, Boston's crazy expensive, and that raises all the numbers on Massachusetts. They got some crazy numbers. Number 3, New York State. New York takes third place with a required salary of $95,700 or $46.03 an hour. Of course, New York State contains much more than New York City. Most people don't understand that. But the city has a remarkable ability to drag statewide financial averages into another dimension. In many upstate communities, $95,700 can still provide a very comfortable lifestyle. In New York City, that might get you an apartment that has a window that looks into a brick wall, but below that, you get to smell the homeless camp that is sandwiched between 2 dumpsters. The city offers nearly unlimited opportunity, but it also provides nearly unlimited opportunities to spend $24 without being entirely sure what you bought. Nothing like buying a $28 sandwich in New York City, which I have done, and it was nothing special. Yes, I was that hungry. Me and my wife went to a place in Hell's Kitchen, and it was a restaurant, it was a Mexican food place. It wasn't really fancy or anything like that, and you had to go up to an elevator. It was on the roof, and it was really nice. It was really cute, but, it wasn't some high-end Michelin restaurant. This was just a Mexican food place. We'd gotten 2 drinks each, got some tacos and some chips or something like that. My bill was like $150. We were there an hour or something like that. It was crazy. That same meal I could have gotten here in Portland for $50, maybe 40. Number 2, Hawaii. Yes, Hawaii is expensive. We all know that. If you didn't know that, congratulations on turning 14 or waking up from your coma of 40 years. Hawaii requires $102,300 a year or $49.19 an hour to live comfortably. That makes it one of the only 2 places on this list that require a salary that exceeds $100,000. The island's got to bring everything in. I mean, they have a few things they grow or they make there, but a majority of their stuff has to be flown or shipped. Groceries, fuel, building materials, and everyday products are more expensive because of this. Housing supply is limited, land is scarce, and the demand remains strong because Hawaii is one of the most beautiful places on Earth. Residents are essentially paying paradise prices for regular human necessities. The scenery may be breathtaking, but so is your first grocery receipt after moving there. Hawaii gives you beaches, mountains, and sunsets while your bank account quietly floats away into the Pacific. All right, before we get to number 1, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, and so we can keep moving this thing. Got to get the stats up so we can keep making videos. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, California. I bet you didn't see this one coming. At number 1, we have the Golden State, California, where living comfortably requires, a lot of gold. You have to make about $103,200 a year or $49.61 to live comfortably in California. That's nearly $50 an hour just to reach the financial category labeled doing okay. California has some of the highest housing costs in the nation, especially along the coastline and in major metropolitan areas like Los Angeles, San Diego, San Jose, and San Francisco. Of course, the surrounding areas are pretty expensive too. You also, for that money, get a lot of bad air, not as bad as it was in the 80s and 70s, but it's still pretty bad, and you get a lot of traffic. What's not to love? The state does offer incredible job opportunities, cultural attractions, beaches, mountains, national parks, and nearly every type of lifestyle imaginable, including homeless lifestyle. That's, very chic these days. Homeless chic, rainy day, you got your boots wrapped in grocery bags. California just wants to make sure you truly appreciate them by charging you for the full emotional experience. Earning six figures used to mean you had it made. In California, it can mean you have successfully qualified for a one-bedroom apartment, paid utility bills, and purchased a burrito without financing it. I grew up in California. There's a lot of reasons I left there. One of them is how expensive it was and the traffic. It was insane. All right, that's today's video. If you like that one, you're probably going to like this one. It's about why people regret moving to France. All right, everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.